Do you ever look at someone whose life completely changed and think, what did they do that I didn't?
Every time, and I used to think it was some big dramatic moment.
Yeah.
Like one decision that flipped everything.
It's not. It's really not. It's something much smaller. And today we're going to show you exactly what it is.
This is where English gets fun. Welcome to the FluentJoy Podcast. Let's get into it. Today we're talking about how to actually change your life.
Not with a big plan, not with a dramatic decision,
With something so small it almost feels too easy.
and if that already sounds like what you need right now, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
Okay, so John, I want to start with a question.
Go for it.
Why do some people completely transform their lives, while others feel like they're walking in circles for years?
That is the question.
Same world, same hours in a day, completely different results.
I used to think it was talent, or luck, or some kind of special energy that certain people just have and others don't.
And then you learned English.
And then I learned English, and it completely changed how I see this.
Because at the beginning, learning English felt impossible to me. So many words, so many rules, such strange sounds. I felt tired just thinking about it.
Same. I genuinely believed if I just memorized enough vocabulary lists, I would become fluent.
Did that work?
It did not work.
Because fluency isn't about word lists.
It's about daily habits, mindset, the way you actually use the language.
And one day something clicked.
Because life change works exactly the same way.
Your life doesn't change from one big dramatic movie moment.
It changes from many small choices, day after day.
Tiny decisions repeated again and again.
That slowly build a completely new version of you.
So if you're waiting for the big moment, the sign, the perfect starting point, this might be it, right here, right now.
Okay, so if small steps are the answer, Stocker, why does change feel so hard?
Because there are invisible things holding most people back.
And the first one is something almost everyone has felt.
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure. The thought that says, what if I try and it doesn't work?
What if people see me struggling? What if I prove I'm not good enough?
And that fear feels so real and so heavy that most people just don't start.
But here's what that fear never asks.
What if I try and something good happens?
What if it works, even a little?
Every person you've ever seen make a big change in their life has a secret history of many small failures behind them.
They just decided that failure is part of the road.
Not the end of the yode.
Part of the road, not the end.
Second thing holding people back, no clear direction.
Direction means knowing where you're actually going.
Most people say, I want a better life. I want to improve my English.
But that's too big, too blurry.
Blurry. Like a photo that's out of focus. You can kind of see something, but nothing is sharp enough to act on.
And when your dream is blurry and your plan is blurry, you wait for a perfect master plan that never arrives.
And while you wait, time moves. You don't.
That waiting room feeling. You're sitting still, but the clock isn't.
Third thing, and this one lives inside your own head.
Negative self-talk.
Self-talk is the voice inside your mind, the one that never stops.
And for a lot of people, that voice says things like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not an English person. People like me don't change.
And if you hear that voice every single day, of course you feel small and scared before you even begin.
That voice is like poison, slow, quiet, constant.
And the fourth trap, the one I fell into for years.
Waiting for motivation.
I'll start when I feel ready. I'll practice English when I feel inspired.
But motivation almost never comes before you start.
It comes after.
You take one small action, and then your brain gives you a little energy as a reward for moving.
Like, first you move your legs, then the energy arrives.
I remember this so clearly with English speaking. For so long I thought, my accent is bad, I'll sound stupid. I'll wait until I feel confident, and that feeling never came.
The confidence never arrives first.
So one day I just said, okay, I will sound silly and I will speak anyway. I made mistakes, but every conversation made me a little bit braver.
So if we put it all together, fear of failure, no clear direction, negative self-talk, waiting for motivation,
These are like invisible ropes around your body.
you can't see them, but they hold you completely still.
And step one of changing your life is just to notice them.
You can't cut something you never see.
But once you see the ropes clearly, you can start to loosen them.
And that's when change becomes possible.
Okay, so we know why it's hard. Now, how do you actually start?
Small steps, and I mean genuinely small.
Most people imagine change like a big explosion. Boom, new life, new person, everything different overnight.
But real change is more like growing a plant.
You don't shout at the plant, grow now.
You give it water every day, a little sunlight, and time.
Those daily drops of water, that's your small actions.
They look like nothing, but they add up.
Add up. A phrasal verb meaning many small things together become something big.
5 minutes of English today doesn't look like much.
But 5 minutes every day for a year?
That's hundreds of hours.
From 5 minutes.
And behind all of it, habits.
A habit is something you do again and again almost without thinking.
Brushing your teeth. Checking your phone in the morning.
Hopefully, listening to an English podcast.
There's a famous book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. He says something that really stayed with me.
What?
Your habits slowly shape your identity.
Identity, who you believe you are.
If I read 10 pages in English every night, after a while I start to think, I'm the kind of person who reads in English.
And that idea about yourself makes it easier to continue.
You're not fighting yourself anymore. You're just being who you are.
So what are some small habits anyone can start today?
1 page of an English book before bed.
2 sentences written about your day in English.
Listening to this podcast while you cook or clean.
And 1 mindset habit that costs nothing.
Every time you say, I'm bad at English,
You stop and you change it to, I'm learning English.
that's it. That small switch.
Same situation, different story you tell yourself.
And over time, that story becomes true.
Okay, let's talk about mindset directly, because it's everything.
Mindset is the way you think about your abilities and your future.
Like the voice style inside your head.
Is it kind and hopeful, or painful and small?
There are 2 kinds, growth mindset and fixed mindset.
With a growth mindset, you think, I can improve. I can learn. I'm not perfect, but I can get better.
With a fixed mindset, you think, this is just who I am. I'm bad at languages, I can't change.
And one of those helps you. One of those keeps you exactly where you are.
Here's something I find genuinely fascinating about the brain. Your brain has a kind of filter system.
It decides what information is important for you to notice.
Like when you learn a new vocabulary word. Suddenly you see it everywhere. In movies, books, video titles.
It was always there. But now your brain says, wait, we know this one.
So if your inner voice keeps saying, I can't, your brain looks for proof that you're right.
It finds every mistake, every awkward moment, every failed attempt.
But if your inner voice says, I'm learning, I'm improving,
Your brain starts showing you small signs of progress instead.
you notice when something that used to be hard feels easier.
You notice when someone understands you without repeating yourself.
Your brain finds what you're looking for.
So give it something worth finding.
3 small tools that help with this.
Affirmations, visualization, and gratitude.
An affirmation is a positive sentence you say to yourself on purpose. I am getting better at English every week.
It sounds simple, it works.
Visualization is when you close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding. You see yourself speaking calmly in a job interview, answering a question without freezing.
And gratitude is stepping back at the end of a hard day and saying, okay, what was one good thing today?
Even one, that's enough.
When you practice these, you're not lying to yourself.
You're training your brain to look for chances instead of only problems.
Make your inner voice a coach, not a critic.
Now, there's one more enemy of change we need to talk about.
And it might be the sneakiest one.
Perfectionism.
Perfectionism means waiting for everything to be exactly right before you start.
When my English is good enough, I'll speak.
When I have more time, I'll study.
When I feel confident, I'll apply for that job.
But here's the thing. Confidence usually comes after you start, not before.
It's like standing at the edge of a swimming pool saying, when I feel comfortable, I'll jump in.
But the comfortable feeling comes after the jump.
When I started recording myself speaking English, I felt so awkward. My voice sounded strange. Every sentence felt wrong.
Did you delete recordings?
So many. But one day I said, this is not perfect, but it's good enough. I shared it. Nothing terrible happened.
Some people even said it helped them.
Because they were struggling with the same thing.
There's a sentence I keep coming back to. A messy start is better than a perfect one day.
Because one day sometimes means never.
So if you're waiting for perfect, this is your sign.
Start now, imperfectly, messily, uncertainly.
And just think, what is one small action I can do today?
Send a short voice note in English.
Read one paragraph, write one sentence.
Those imperfect actions build something important.
Momentum.
Momentum is the energy of movement that makes it easier to keep going.
Like a bicycle. The first push takes the most effort.
But once you're moving, staying in motion takes much less force.
So here's a challenge. Think of one thing you keep postponing.
Give it 5 minutes today, just 5.
It sounds almost too small to matter.
But it opens a door. And once the door is open,
It's much easier to walk through it again tomorrow.
okay, last piece. And this one is one people don't talk about enough.
Your environment.
Environment means everything around you. People, places, information.
There's a famous idea. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
If your 5 people always say it's impossible, always complain, always stay exactly where they are.
It is very hard to stay hopeful and keep moving forward.
But if your 5 people are trying, learning, doing small things, not for their future.
You start to think, maybe I can do that too.
And it's not just people, it's what you watch and listen to.
Your information diet.
We know food can be healthy or junk.
Information is exactly the same.
Motivating podcasts, helpful conversations, good books. That's healthy food for your brain.
And some content is junk food, endless negative news, drama, comment fights that leave you feeling empty and tired.
Drain your energy. Those things take your energy away and leave nothing behind.
When I was really working on my English, I felt completely alone. Until I found a small online group of people doing the same thing.
And suddenly you had people saying, I'm struggling too. Let's keep going.
That group didn't make English easier, but it made quitting harder.
So ask yourself, who are my 5 people right now?
What is my information diet?
If the answer feels heavy, you don't need to change everything today.
But you can add one thing, one person who's trying,
One podcast that builds you up instead of draining you.
one small community where people are growing.
Little by little, your environment starts pulling you forward instead of holding you back.
Okay, let's walk through the words from today, because there were some good ones.
Stuck, when you can't move forward even though you want to.
I feel stuck in my routine. Every day feels exactly the same.
Or, I feel stuck with my English. I don't know how to get to the next level.
Fear of failure. Being scared to try because you might not succeed.
My fear of failure stopped me from applying for that job.
Or because of fear of failure, I don't speak English in front of other people.
Direction, knowing where you're going, having a map.
I want to improve my life, but I don't have direction.
Joining a class gave me direction in my English study.
Negative self-talk. The unkind things you say to yourself inside your head.
Negative self-talk, like I'm not good enough, makes me feel small.
I'm working on changing my negative self-talk into kinder words.
Habit. Something you do again and again, almost without thinking.
Listening to an English podcast every day is my new habit.
Drinking water every morning is a healthy habit.
Identity. How you see yourself, the kind of person you believe you are.
After 1 year of reading in English, my identity shifted. I started seeing myself as someone who reads in English.
Mindset. Your general way of thinking about your abilities and your future.
Changing my mindset helped me actually enjoy learning English.
Growth mindset, believing you can learn and improve.
Fixed mindset, believing you cannot change.
He has a growth mindset. He sees mistakes as part of learning.
With a fixed mindset, she believes she will always be bad at languages.
Affirmation. A positive sentence you tell yourself on purpose.
My morning affirmation: I am getting better every single day.
Visualization. Imagining yourself doing something well.
Before a difficult conversation, I use visualization. I imagine myself speaking calmly and clearly.
Gratitude. The feeling of being thankful for good things in your life.
Writing 3 good things every night helps me practice gratitude.
Gratitude makes problems feel slightly smaller.
Momentum, the energy of movement that makes continuing easier.
After 1 week of daily practice, I had momentum. It felt natural to keep going.
Environment. Everything around you, people, places, and information.
Changing my environment, what I watch, who I spend time with, helped me grow.
A calm environment helps me focus on what matters.
If you didn't catch every word today, that's completely fine.
You can come back and listen to this part again slowly.
And here's a small challenge.
Pick 1 word from today and make your own sentence.
Say it in your head, or write it in the comments so we can see it.
That's your English brain going to the gym. A short, friendly workout.
Okay, let's land this.
You don't need a perfect plan.
You don't need the right moment.
You don't need to feel ready.
You just need one small action, repeated.
Again and again and again.
Fear of failure is part of the road, not the end of it.
A blurry direction is still a direction. Start walking and it gets clearer.
Your inner voice can be retrained. It takes time, but it's possible.
And motivation, it comes after you move, not before.
So move.
Here's your question for today. What is one small thing you want to change in your life right now?
Write it in the comments. 1 sentence.
I'm blank from blank, and one small thing I want to change is blank.
Your comment is not just practice, it's a decision made out loud.
And decisions made out loud are harder to walk away from.
If this episode helped you, tap like and share it with someone who needs to hear this today.
Because somewhere out there, someone is standing at the edge of something, waiting to feel ready.
Maybe this is what gets them moving.
We'll see you next week.
Keep going.